Okay, Ryan Steinelson here with Accelerate Marketing. We get your phone to ring. That's what our company does. And I have Kevin Davidson from Empire Industries here, the infamous Kevin Davidson. He is a marketing rock star, man. We've known each other for a while, and man, it is amazing to see the results that you're getting. And I know that other property managers are going to be really interested to see what's going on over there. I'm going to give you a second to introduce yourself. And let me just first set the stage here. The number one question that we get from property managers is, how do I get my phone to ring? And more importantly though, and Kevin's cutting right to the chase because he's showing his screen right now. I mean, this is, this is what we're going to talk about. And I really appreciate Kevin for giving us a behind the scenes of what they're doing to get the success that they are. This is something that you and I have been talking about for years, Kevin. But before we go into that, why don't you introduce yourself for anybody that doesn't know you, which I can't imagine anybody wouldn't know you,
Thank you for the accolades. Kevin Davidson. I'm the marketing director at Empire Industries Property Management that's based out of Houston, Texas. We operate in Houston, Dallas, and Fort Worth. We manage just under 1,000 properties, and I've been a marketing professional in the marketing field since the year 2000, so almost 20 years, 19 years. And I've been with Empire and working with Ryan for the end of June will be 5 years. When Empire hired me, they hired me because they were generating about 27 leads a month, and there really wasn't anybody to manage what they were trying to do from a marketing perspective. And basically they just told me, said, create a marketing campaign, a program for the company. Let's, generate and create a machine and just see where it goes from there. And so what I've done over the last 5 years is I have tried everything you could possibly try with in the property management industry, marketing wise, to generate leads, anywhere from old school magazine advertising all the way to modern Google AdWords now. And Ryan knows everything that I've tried to do because Ryan has been helping me for the last 5 years do a lot of these things. And I've gotten to the point to where when I exhausted all the resources, all the ideas that I had, not that I don't have any more ideas, but I've tried everything that you could possibly try. I asked myself the question, how do I know if this stuff is really working? And how do I know if this stuff is really falling in line with what Empire's goals are as far as numbers goes, cost per lead and all that stuff? And so I came up with the idea of putting together a spreadsheet that we're going to talk about today that shows you how to do this.
Yeah. And that's really the next to the question of how do I get my phone to ring, the next question is once they get a little bit more savvy, which is where you're at, because you've been doing this for a while, is which of the ad, solutions that are out there, Facebook ads, Google ads, you've got niche specific, solutions that give you, shared leads, which we could go down that rabbit hole as well and talk and talk about the elephant in the room with that whole thing, which would probably surprise a lot of people that some of these vendors that actually share lead or sell leads actually share them with a bunch, and a lot of people don't know that. But there's a lot of different solutions out there. The big ones being Google ads, Facebook ads. How do you know which one's working? And more importantly, do you know your numbers so that you can even determine which one's working, which lead source is working? And I'm just going to set the stage here to say, I don't want to steal your thunder, Kevin, but before we even get there, let me circle back to one thing that you had mentioned. You guys were generating 20 to 30 leads when you came in 5 years ago. A lot of those leads were from what we did foundationally back in the day, the good old days, only 6 years ago, which was from Google local optimization and just getting reviews. You guys, and it still works, right? And now, that's still your number one source. I mean, it's your number one source of leads still to this day, right?
It's the number one reason why we're on page 1 of Google.
Yeah. Is you're on the maps and and we'll go into that in a second, but let's just let's set the stage here, because this is what this really means. I mean, let's just go right to the meat here. Is you were spending a significant amount more money. I don't know if you want to get into the specifics, but this has helped you, bottom line, reduce your ad spend by 75% and get the same results.
It's actually a little bit more than that, but yeah. I'll go into the numbers and stuff. I'd like to begin with where I began and kind of through a real quick timeline of where we're at now.
Go ahead.
You know, in the beginning when they hired me, the goal was, Kevin, just generate leads. We just need to get the phone to ring. I don't care where they come from. I don't care how much you spend or what you spend on. I just need the phone to ring. Okay, so I sat down, and not being from the real estate world or the property management world, just having a marketing background, a marketing degree and experience, I just asked myself, you know, what is our target market? Where are they? What are we trying to sell to them? And how much is it? Okay. Mm-hmm. And when I was able to get the answer to those 4 questions from the owners of Empire, then I just went out on my own on the internet and through colleagues and through people like you and people that I met. And I just created a network, and I just asked people all these questions. Where do you find these people? Where are the, you know, people that have been in the industry for a while? Well, where are these clients at? How are you finding them? You know, Ryan, how can you help me get leads from what you do for property management companies? And I just absorbed and soaked up all this information, and I let anybody and everybody help me that wanted to help me. And then I took all that information and I put it down, and I said, okay, these people that are offering me this help and these people that can do these things for me, what is it they can do, and where does that fit as far as what kind of a campaign I can run? Yeah. And when it was with you, with your services, you know, it was Google AdWords. You know, early in the day, it was Google AdWords, and it was SEO and reviews like that. So I spent the better part of about a year or 6 months, let's say 6 months, learning where to find my target market. Okay, how could I find them? And I came up with literally, and this will blow your mind, but Ryan's seen this, I came up literally with 100 ways to market Empire to my target market. Now, did all 100 ways work? Of course not, they didn't. And so that's it. I didn't know at the time what would or wouldn't work. I tried them all. Now, not all at the same time, but I tried them all. So I had 10 different ways or platforms that I wanted to market. Internet, networking, pay-per-click, blogs, things like that. And then of those 10 ideas, I had 10 ways to do each one of them. So 10 times 10, 100. Okay.
Hey, Kevin, really quick, can you stop sharing your screen so that people can see you better just for right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me. Where's that?
Should be somewhere there.
Well, where did it go?
I don't know. I don't want to. You're on a roll.
Come on. Well,
should be down below there.
That's what I thought, but nothing's popping.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
10 by 10.
There we go. Okay. So I went through that whole process and oh, it's over here. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, you got multiple screens.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So I went through that whole process, and I spent about 6 months just throwing things on the wall to see what would stick. Okay. And I had some success. We went from about 27 to 30 leads a month to about my first month of really generating some new leads from new sources was about 60. We were only in Houston, but I started they hired me in June. From June to December, the first year, I just did all this homework, and I did all this networking and meeting Ryan and people like Ryan, all that stuff. And then in January, I started actually doing some marketing. And every month since then, which was 4.5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, my leads have increased every month, month over month, year over year, for 4.5 years. So I went from 27 leads a month to my best month was about 230 leads in July last year. So now how did I get there? Okay, so I threw all the spaghetti on the wall to see what would fix, what would stick. And what I did was I started what we call testing and measuring everything. So I would take how many leads did I get, and at the time, were they hot, warm, or cold? Meaning when they contacted us, did they have a property that we could manage? Were they looking for property management? Were they just tire kickers? Were they tenants that pushed the wrong button? Things like that. And I kind of put those in categories, and I kind of measured and graded the campaigns, the leads that were coming in, to determine if the leads that were coming in for each one of those campaigns, if they were good, if they were actually generating interest from people that were my target market that were looking for property management. Because I don't care if your budget's $2 or $200,000. If you spend $200,000 in the wrong spot, it doesn't matter. You're not going to generate any business. You're just going to increase your expenses, which at the end is going to close your doors.
Yeah.
So I took that to the next level, and over the next couple of years, I concentrated on getting as many leads as I possibly could. Okay. I fine-tuned the 100 programs, and I got it down to about 25 or 30 that were generating leads. I didn't care at the time about the cost. They were generating leads. How many leads can Kevin get? That's how I got up to 230 leads, or whatever the number was. Blows everybody's mind. I have yet to meet someone that owns a property management company that's gotten 230 leads in a 1 month's time.
Yep.
And it's not possible. I did it. I don't know business.
Yep.
But
all right. Yep.
Then what I did was I said, okay, at what cost is it costing me to get 230 leads? And how is that cost affecting the company, the bottom line? Because if I'm bringing in 230 leads a month, but we can't close those 230 leads, and I'm spending all that money, it's doing no good for anybody. Okay.
Right.
So I used to have a spreadsheet that said how many leads we had, if they're hot, warm, or cold, how many doors we got, how many conversions, how many customers, and that was it. So I could tell you how many leads I got, how many of them were good leads or not, and whether or not we were closing doors. But what I couldn't do at the time is I couldn't tell you how much each one of those campaigns cost me, and more importantly, how much each one of those leads cost me, how much, and whether or not the cold leads were costing me more money than the hot leads, whether or not we were closing doors from the lead campaigns that we were getting that were hot or not. What I'm saying is if you're running a campaign that's getting 150 leads a month, but you're only closing 2 doors a month from that campaign, and you're spending $2,000 a month on that campaign, your cost per conversion is $1,000.
Yep.
Is that smart?
Maybe if your customer lifetime value is $50,000, it might be.
It depends on your goals. Okay, and our goals are not lifetime value. Our goals are annual value, because we sign management agreements based on a year's lease. Okay. Now that doesn't mean a whole nother conversation is, well, how long does our client stay with us? That's a whole nother conversation. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. Based on a year. So then I started looking at the campaigns that I'm doing, and Ryan mentioned it earlier. There's several pay-per-click opportunities out there that will generate leads. They'll generate leads. They'll generate them quickly. They might have them generate them quickly at a cost that you can absorb. But when I started what I call drilling down on every single lead that came in, where it came from, how much I was spending on that campaign, and then dividing that cost by how many leads and leads and hot, warm, or cold leads I got from that campaign, and whether or not we closed them, I started realizing that I was spending much more money in areas that were generating a bunch of leads, but we weren't closing any doors. We weren't getting any good leads. And Ryan touched on one of those earlier when you said some of those campaigns would actually share leads. Now, I'm not going to tell you which campaign or which company I'm talking about, but there are pay-per-click opportunities out there that they're bid-based opportunity, lead opportunity programs. You bid on the cost of the lead. You can bid the lowest or the highest you want. It puts you in order based on how much you want. But what I learned, and I was embarrassed at the time that I learned it because I was shocked that I didn't know it. But some of those pay-per-click campaigns, those companies, when the client says, yes, I want more information, they put in their name, address, and email address and phone number, and then they hit submit. Before it actually goes through, a pop-up comes up and goes, would you like to also get a quote from these 5 other companies?
Yeah.
Basically what happens is you just paid for a lead for your competition.
Yeah. Well, and let's be clear though, that's not Google Ads. I mean, it's not Google Ads. Yeah. It's really what it is. It's not even a pay-per-click. It's a pay-per-lead system that you're actually paying for. It's not, there's a difference. And I don't want people to get confused between pay-per-click, which is Google Ads, and pay-per-lead, which is some other companies out there that sell leads like that. Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
So when I started analyzing those campaigns alone, what I realized was I was spending 3 times as much money on those campaigns, even though I was getting more leads. The quality of the leads that I was getting overall were actually coming from other places that I was spending less money and getting less leads from, but we were closing more doors. Mm-hmm. So what happened is I realized I was spending over 50% of my marketing budget on campaigns that were actually costing the company more money than I needed to spend to generate the same return on investment, the same outcome. That's
huge. Yeah, because this is the number one question I get is, how do I get more doors? How do I get more leads? And this might be a good time, Kevin, to go right to the spreadsheet and look. I mean, unless you want to go further down the road, because I mean, the thing that is going to be very important for people to understand, and we've got about 20 more minutes to go here, 20 more minutes or so. But bottom line is I want them to see how you've delineated very specifically your opportunities from your leads. Just the structure alone is super valuable. The way that you've actually structured what an opportunity is, how you define an opportunity, how you define a lead, how you define, and how that's different, how an opportunity is different from the number of doors, which in property management, you have to keep track of these numbers because it definitely affects your bottom line. And so with that, I mean, is there anything else that you want to, okay.
I can go right into it. And I want to start this off by shocking everybody.
Okay.
Up until January of this year, I was spending on 3 cities that we're in. My budget was $25,000 a month. Okay. I just want everybody to remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
$25,000 a month. I was getting between 150 and 200 leads a month. Good months were about 220, 230, but average between 150 and 200 a month at $25,000. So let me share my screen and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So what I've done was, okay, I put every campaign on a spreadsheet. That's all these down right here, okay? And then I also wanted to know across the top here, how much of each one of these I got or how much they cost me and what the conversion rate was for each campaign specifically. Yeah. Now, at the top here, these green numbers, these are my goals. These are the numbers that the owners of Empire have said that your numbers need to fall within these parameters or they're not acceptable. We're not going to do them anymore. It's too much. It's either cost too much or it's not generating the ROI that we want it to generate. So I'm sure everybody, especially marketing people, have heard if you spend money on a campaign that doesn't work, then after you've tested and measured enough to realize that it's not going to work, you turn off the campaign, but you don't turn off the money. You just move the money to another campaign that is generating, and hopefully that will give you more. So this is starting in January, Okay, now I have gone for 4 months now. We're in May, but this is through April. So every cell that's highlighted in red is a cell that is above the goals that we would like to meet. Okay,
Yep.
so if you look at this, for Google AdWords in January, I got 3 leads. Okay, those 3 leads cost me $500 for the month total. But if you divide that by 3, it cost me $167 per lead. All right, and let me preface this by saying, I said earlier we get leads and we get hot, warm, or cold leads. Now we call them leads and opportunities. A lead is anybody that contacts Empire Industries for our services. Anybody. It can be an agent, a vendor, it can be a property management lead, realty services, a tenant, it can be anybody. That's a lead. What an opportunity is a lead that contacts us for property management that either has or is going to have a door that we would be willing to manage in the next 90 days. Okay? That is an opportunity. That is considered a good lead for Empire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So in saying that, the AdWords campaign in January didn't generate any opportunities. It cost me $500. We didn't close any doors. We didn't convert anybody. So right off the bat, this campaign for me is a red flag. Okay? Because the goal is $75 per lead, and it cost me $167. 40% conversion rate for lead opportunities. Well, I didn't get any opportunities, so the conversion rate's 0. I didn't get any good leads. Okay, the cost per opportunity has to be under $150. Well, the cost was $500, and we didn't get any doors, or any conversions, or any doors. So right off the bat, that campaign is a red flag. That would be on my list of something to look at for February.
Yeah.
Now,
and just to be clear, we weren't running your AdWords then, right?
Now, nice save. Now, in all property, this is one of those campaigns that is the pay-per-lead. So check this out. I got 51 leads from all property in January.
Mm-hmm.
It cost me $3,250.
Yeah.
Okay. Cost me $64 per lead, so that falls under the goal, so that's good. I got 21 opportunities from those. That means 21 of the 51 of those leads were looking for property management, had something we could manage in the next 90 days. So that conversion rate from opportunities to leads is 41%. Goal is 40. I'm good. Okay. The problem is, for whatever reason, even though we had 21 opportunities, sales team couldn't close any doors. They didn't close one person from this campaign.
Yep.
So I spent $3,250. The leads and opportunities were good, but the sales department didn't close any doors.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I would do based on these numbers is I wouldn't worry about marketing.
Yeah.
I would worry about sales.
Yeah.
I would go and talk to the sales department and say, hey guys, we got a bunch of leads from all property, and you guys even said 41% of them were opportunities, but you didn't close any of them. So then we would have to dig deeper into the sales process to find out where it's breaking down, because obviously there's a challenge there.
And just a caveat here, most and by the way, guys, this is gold. You got to literally, like, this is what, in order for a company to work with us now, they need to have this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet needs to be in place. Kevin and I have been talking about this since we met, that this is what needs to be created, and Kevin is implementing it to a T. Now, the other thing I do want to say is that this is why it's so important to get the other side, to identify the other side of those opportunities that come in. How many of them converted? You've got to know how many converted. A lot of the property management companies that I talk to they don't put the two together. They don't connect the dots between the leads that turn to opportunities, that turn into, conversions. They don't follow it all the way through. That you need to follow those leads all the way through to conversions. And then that's the only way that you can actually really make something like this work 100%. You could get by with stopping it at the cost per opportunity, but it doesn't tell you the whole picture. And that's really, you know, it's just half the picture. I mean, look, it's literally half right down the middle of the page here. It's half the picture.
Now, the other side of the coin is that you can do this exercise and just test and measure based on the cost, your number of leads versus your conversions. But what that does not tell you is it doesn't take the next step and tell you whether or not the leads that you're generating per campaign are good or not.
Yes.
Tell you if you close 3 doors from 51 leads, you might think that's good. You close 3 doors, but that doesn't give you a good enough picture of, well, of those 51, were they actually looking for property management? So you can know if your message in the ad is working.
Yep.
It doesn't take the next step. Okay.
Yep.
So
we got about 15 minutes. So yeah, that's awesome.
Move on to February. Okay. The rest of the spreadsheet, looking at same exercise. Every one of them you see red. Go to February. Okay. We're in January. See the red in January?
Yep.
See how much less red there is in February. So based on January's numbers, I took action on some of those campaigns and they improved month to month. Okay?
Yep.
Number 1, AdWords is still a problem. Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
I got less leads in for all property, a lower conversion rate. The cost is about the same because I think it was 67 last time. This time we closed 3 doors.
Good.
So that's a little bit better, but the conversion rate went down.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you look at the rest of this, every other campaign that I have, other than AdWords, falls within my goal of $75. So as of February, I was only running 1 campaign that met or was below my cost per lead. So what does that do? That makes my boss very happy. That means I'm spending the money efficiently. Spending it in the right places. Only 3 campaigns fell below the conversion rate of lead to opportunity. What does that tell me? That tells me that the campaigns that I'm running, that I'm spending money on, are generating good leads. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only 2 campaigns, there's only 2 campaigns that the conversion rate to doors was below the company goal. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that just in 1 month, the marketing has gotten more efficient and cost less in 30 days based on this exercise. Let's go to March.
Yes.
Look at that.
Wow.
Even less. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what I did after this is now I've decided that AdWords is going to be a focus of my attention. Okay. 60 days, haven't really generated too much of anything. I spent $1,066 on it. Okay.
Yeah.
All property, 33 leads, 5 opportunities for a 15. This is getting actually worse.
Yeah.
And I'm spending about $2,000 a month on it or more, $3,000.
Yep.
Long story short, as of April, I don't do all property management anymore.
Yeah.
I'm completely off because the cost to run those campaigns far exceeds what I'm getting as a return for that campaign. And you couldn't figure it out if you didn't do this exercise.
Yep. Your total cost per strategy is up and your cost per, your cost per door is too high. And and you see it very clearly in this spreadsheet. It's in red.
There's a reason why this number right here, is so important. And I'll tell that at the end. But Noble Mortgage, 2 leads. Noble Mortgage is a networking event. So it cost me $500, $250. But since I'm getting leads and I'm getting opportunities and they're closing, my only concern about this campaign is that I need to generate more leads when I'm there. I need to talk to more people. I need to get more business cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to try and work harder when I'm at the networking event. But other than that, everything I'm doing in the month of March is pretty much good. So then I go, okay.
And I just want to point out a couple of things, and we don't have much more time. But the website, I mean, look at all the leads coming from the website. That is like, that's that long-term, you know, you guys have more reviews than any other company in the world. I've just got to point that out. I mean, and that is what's generating that. For all you guys that are questioning, don't question anymore. Okay. There's your results.
If you're questioning e-marketing at all, if you take a second and look at my campaigns, over 50% of what I do marketing is all on the internet in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. Well, yeah, but more importantly though, like I'm just trying to say that organic, like because you've spent the time from the beginning to do the local SEO and to do the reputation management marketing, you guys now have, you know, you're more than 40-50% of your leads are still coming from organic, you know?
Yep. And I did another exercise today I'll talk to you about at the end too. So now if you go to April, you notice on April there's a little bit more red, but that's because we changed our goals. Now, AdWords most likely is probably going to be stopped here pretty quick.
Yeah.
Facebook, if you notice in January, Facebook 14 leads, 8 opportunities. February 22, 15. March 18, 16. April 25, 8. What I'm trying to explain to you is that we have gotten so much better on Facebook that it is now our second largest lead generation source, and we're closing more doors from that source. Okay, so the one thing that I want everybody to understand is that this gives you a picture month to month of what's working, what's not, and what the costs are. So now if we take all this information, I've also created what I call a quick look. Okay, what this is this is just the most important numbers that I need. This, you look at this for 5 seconds and you know exactly how good or not the marketing and sales department's running. Yeah. In January,
basically what you're doing, I mean, just to be clear, basically what he's doing is he's just summarizing, he's adding up all the bottom line numbers for the entire month for all the different marketing sources, and that's what he's looking at.
Exactly. I'm summarizing the results of the campaigns
each month. Yep.
Each month. So in January, we hadn't made all these changes yet. 168 leads for 63 opportunities, 38% conversion rate, 40 was the goal. Doors conversions, 37% was the conversion rate. Look at our costs. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. These are great. Like here, guys, here's what I want you, if you're a property management company and you wondered what is possible, these are huge. Just knowing these numbers that Kevin is showing you here is just pure like goodness. Like you've got to understand, like and because I'm always being asked, number one, people are always asking me if Facebook actually works to actually generate leads. Okay, number one, I just want to circle back on that. Number two, and it does, obviously, based on what it's the second most, you know, the highest lead generation source. Now, the other thing is so that you're seeing here what the real cost per opportunity is in a real company that's a property management company. If you compare this, and I would argue a little bit with Kevin here, that it really is that customer lifetime value. But even if you just look at the year value, the 1 year value of these leads that turn into doors that you can actually monetize, like look at cost per door. You're only spending $292 right at the end there. Like that is the bottom line. If you're spending $292 and you're generating at least, it's got to be generating at least $1,500, you know, on a yearly basis. And I know that a lot of the average that I hear is typically 3 years that you retain, you know, these doors. But I mean, yeah.
And I want to make that perfectly clear. I don't disagree with Ryan on the lifetime value. We base our company's numbers goals on an annual value, and the total revenue, average revenue per door for us is about $3,000 a year. So based on that number, that's where we came up with these goals. So I want to be clear, Ryan is correct. Lifetime value is important, but I'm measuring this based on an annual basis for the health of the company. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Now, you fast forward 4 months. Okay. I've done all this fine tuning. My number of leads have gone down. Yes, they have. But what's more important is my number of opportunities is only basically gone down about 5 to 8 total.
Yeah.
All right. And look at the cost where it's come down in 4 months based on this exercise.
Yeah.
Okay. So now there's something that I told you earlier that I want to wrap this up with. I was spending $25,000 a month on 3 cities to generate 168 leads, 63 opportunities, and getting these results.
Yeah.
4 months later, I'm now spending, and I'm not stuttering, about $4,000 a month, and I'm getting better numbers across the board.
Yeah.
For the company.
That's it.
I'm saving the company $21,000 a month to its bottom line and still generating the same results, if not better results.
In terms of income.
Yeah.
And that right there, I mean, that is what paying attention to your numbers allows you to do. When you what you pay attention to improves. That's the bottom line. And when you pay attention to the numbers and the right numbers, and you got all the right numbers right here, so there's no excuse, and you can even see how to lay it out. This is it. I'm telling you, this is, and you can use Google Docs to create it, or Google or Excel or numbers or whatever you want to use. But bottom line is anybody can do this, and this is what every company that I'm working with does, so that you can identify. I don't care what you're doing to generate leads. I mean, even if it's offline, it still needs to be put on this sheet so that you can identify the winners from the losers, is the bottom line. So, man, I mean, that's huge, Kevin. I mean, the only other thing that I would like to add to that is just that if you go back to that other spreadsheet again, the summary is that you guys in your industry, it is very important to circle back on this. An opportunity is different than a door, because you've got some opportunities have multiple doors. And so it is important to separate those two out. Yeah.
That's why these numbers are not the same. See right here, we converted 6 clients. And when I mean by client I mean Ryan. Ryan came to me, 26 different Ryans came to me and said, I like property management. But one Ryan, March, had 39 doors.
Yeah.
That's why these numbers are not the same.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly.
Multiple doors.
Yep. And that's the beauty of and that's why it's so important to do it this way, because you got to look at both of those numbers, because you might be in the red on one, but in the green on the other. And that's a good question for you to wrap it up on. If you were still out of your numbers in a cost per conversion or cost per conversion, but you were within your numbers on cost per door, I'd feel pretty good about myself if I were you. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. The only thing that I would recommend based on that scenario is that you would have to close more clients.
Yeah. Yeah. See, so
more clients, and that number will turn green.
And that's the beauty. That goes right back to what we were saying is that Kevin knows when anything's red here, exactly what to go and address. The problem is that you don't know what to address if you don't know the numbers. He knows exactly where to go. And Kevin can even get a little bit more granular. I know there's some stories that you shared about, how you went to sales, and you talked to them and learned some things, and that helped, get your conversions up. And it's this really, because that's the big battle, right? Is between marketing and sales. Sales is always saying that the leads aren't good enough, and marketing or the other way around. And marketing is always saying that the leads are great, but the sales, they're just not converting, and they're just not good at selling. And so it's like this constant battle. And this helps you to really, kind of separate things out and segregate things out. And I think it's
what
just
this
awesome.
does is it eliminates that battle, because numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
If the goal is on the top of the spreadsheet and the goals are being met on one side and they're not being met on the other, then you know exactly what department you have to go to fix the challenge. Yeah. If we were converting under the 35% on the conversion of the doors number, under that, and we were only getting 30 leads a month, Well, then obviously that's a marketing challenge because the sales department is closing the opportunities we're getting. We're just not getting enough opportunities. But if we're getting 50 or 60 opportunities a month and they're only closing 10 doors a month, it's not a marketing problem. It's a sales problem. So this tells you what department you need to go to fix the challenge.
Yep, exactly where to go to fix your problem. So it's awesome, Kevin. So how do people get a hold of you? If they have any questions, how do people get a hold? What's the best way if people are watching this and they want to maybe connect with you? Is there a best way to do that?
Oh yeah, you can either email me at Kevin, Kevin, at EmpireIndustriesLLC.com, or you can give me a call. Call me on my direct line. It goes to my cell phone, 713-678-0093.
Awesome. And Kevin, if you want to get if you have any questions, I would just, post and comment below the video. Any questions you have, we'll respond within 24 hours. Accelerate Marketing, if you have any questions for us, you can obviously call us. Go to our website. You can just 619-304-5155. Again, 619-304-5155. Any parting last minute, tips or anything else that you want to share before we end?
Just one. What I've learned over the last 5 years and recently doing this exercise, if anybody asks you if you know your numbers and you say yes, and you don't know these numbers, you don't know your
numbers. Exactly.
Period.
Amen. 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 I love it, Kevin. Thank you. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, let us know. And that's a wrap. Talk to you soon.
See you soon, guys. Thanks.